Matt Stevens here for another edition of the weekly Blitz video blog. We're here in the Collegian newsroom, and I'm with Nick Sebesta, our Rocky Mountain Student Media resident volleyball expert. Calls the games on KCSU, travels with the team. So we can talk a little bit about the NCAA Volleyball tournaments coming up tomorrow really. Thursday, 4 good teams. You got Colorado State here in Fort Collins, Washington, Northern Colorado, and Middle Tennessee State. CSU made it by winning the Mountain West, but they got some help by Northern Colorado. They won the Big Sky. Took the first, second rounds here versus having them up in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
But also coming from Seattle is Washington. The team in this tournament been ranked as high as I think 3rd in the nation all year. Number 6 overall seed. What do we know about them?
Washington's just an extremely talented team. They're a team that when Colorado State played them back in 2005 in the first, second rounds here in Fort Collins and Moby Arena, CSU ended up getting beat. Washington went on to win the national championship that year in 2005. They always have a perennially great program up there. And they have some really talented hitters, including a player out of Eaton, Colorado. So you can expect a lot of Colorado fans coming out for that one. And they're going against a tough UNC team who's playing their first Division I volleyball tournament. So you might see some jitters, or you might see some just extreme excitement. And then you got to talk about Middle Tennessee, man. They're talented.
Yeah, everyone says they're really quick. They're very versatile offensively. They can really do a lot of things. Not really tall, but they get a lot of things done around the net.
Right, their tallest player is 6'2", and when you look at Colorado State, they have players 6'4" or 6'5" that can stretch up on the blocks. But what Middle Tennessee State will do is really be athletic, really set their hitters really quickly. So you're struggling to get that block up in time, and that's the thing that's going to be tricky. Is that block for Colorado State was top in the Mountain West. That's what shut everybody down. So you're going to really have to adapt to that, and if not, you're going to have to rely on your libero, who Colorado State has the top libero in the entire nation, or in the entire conference.
Let's say the nation. How about that?
Let's go with it.
Well, speaking of Caitlin Batten, you talked about a player from Washington, from Eaton, Kendra Carlson. I was talking to Batty today, and they're really good friends. And I talked to Kendra after Washington's practice just got done about an hour ago. By the way, they hit and serve very hard.
Yeah, they do.
That's something I don't know if anyone in this field other than Middle Tennessee State, who lost him earlier this season, has seen him when he hits that hard.
Right.
But Kendra Carlson says, a lot of people from Eaton are going to be here. We hope to have a really strong CSU crowd, but what about those Eaton natives going for Washington?
It's going to be fun. Moby's going to be hopping, and it's going to be really fast, really exciting. If it gets to the point where it's CSU, Washington, and Moby Arena in the second round, you can expect it's going to be loud. There are going to be a lot of people, and it won't all be for CSU, but you saw that last year with Florida. You saw a lot of Florida fans come into Moby Arena when CSU hosted number 8 Florida at the time, and it was a complete sweep. And that wasn't really the factor. And talking to assistant coach Jesse Mahoney a couple weeks ago, he said he'd feel comfortable with even Stanford coming in to play at Colorado State Moby Arena.
Now, I can't ask you for predictions because you're calling the game tomorrow, but let's say you start off for Northern Colorado and Washington. What do you think the keys are there?
The keys are for Northern Colorado not to be afraid, not for them to get overwhelmed by the fact that they're playing in the NCAAs, that they're playing in Fort Collins and Moby Arena just up the road. They're going to have a lot of their fans there, but that is probably going to be able to help them out. So not to be too overwhelmed with the fact they're playing a team like Washington. For Washington, it's going to be just continue their hard-hitting game, continue to keep rolling with what works for them, and not overthink the fact that they're playing a team that's new to the tournament.
And same thing for Colorado State and Middle Tennessee.
Colorado State, feed off the home crowd. Just use that to your advantage. Don't get caught up in too many head games, and just relax and go out there and play. They didn't come out strong in their last home finale in Moby Arena against New Mexico State. And talking to some of the players, they want to avenge that. They want to put that behind them and leave a good, lasting impression of this year's team in Moby Arena.
I'll give the same prediction I gave on your show on the Ramblers last night. I think Colorado State will struggle more so in the first round against Middle Tennessee. I say that goes to 5. Rams win, advance. But next up, Washington. I'm going to assume Washington beats Northern Colorado. If that becomes a matchup, I think. But I was shocked by how hard Washington hit today. But
right.
I think the Rams, if they get that crowd support, they can get a 3-1 victory. Just my prediction. Honestly, if I'm Colorado State, if somehow Northern Colorado pulls the miracle over the 6th national seed, Washington, I'm more scared about the Bears just because we've seen what they can do. They're up and coming team. They just beat one of the top teams in the nation, you gotta look out. And they took CSU to 5 here, and I believe I was in Fort Collins this year. wasn't
Right,
I?
and that was an extremely tough match that CSU played against UNC earlier this year in Moby Arena. So you can't overlook the fact this is not the easiest first, second round, but the benefit is it prepares you if you go on to Minneapolis for that Sweet 16, because it's a hard section of the bracket they're playing in it. And when you go to that regional, you're going to have teams probably like Duke and Florida State that are going to be there as well.
I was listening on ESPN radio today, and they're talking about if Colorado State could go on, to almost inherit that #1 seed and have, a decent shot at making it on to Tampa. It should be interesting.
You never know, man. You never know.
So I'm Matt Stevens from Nick Sebesta. Thanks for checking in on the Weekly Blitz video blog. Make sure to check out collegiansports.com for all the coverage of NCAA tournament here in Fort Collins starting Thursday and Friday. Everything look all right? Over. All right.